Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today into the world of microbots.
Microrobotics.
Microrobotics, yeah.
Right.
I always get those mixed up.
Right.
So you sent in this research article. It's called Counterfactual Rewards Promote Collective Transport Using Individually Controlled Swarm Microrobots. And it was published pretty recently in Science Robotics, December 18th, 2024. And basically, it describes how scientists are using AI to control swarms of really, really tiny robots.
Yeah.
Like smaller than a human hair.
Yeah.
To get them to work together.
Really remarkable work.
Yeah, and to do stuff like move objects.
Yeah.
Much bigger than they are.
Like a real demonstration of how AI can tackle these really, really difficult problems.
Yeah. So this article describes a very specific experiment with these microbots. And they were trained to do some collective tasks.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm just trying to picture this whole experiment. Like, what are we talking about here?
So imagine like a petri dish.
Okay.
But filled with like a special solution.
Okay.
And suspended in that solution, you have hundreds of these tiny little robots.
Okay.
Each one is a 6-micrometer silica sphere with a carbon cap.
6 micrometer? How big is that?
It's about 1/10 the width of a human hair.
Wow. Okay.
And they're not just floating around randomly. They're actually being propelled by lasers that are focused on their carbon caps.
Oh, wow. So they're like laser-powered robots?
Exactly.
That's pretty sci-fi.
It is, yeah.
But like how, I
Yeah.
can only imagine how hard it must be to control these things, especially at that scale.
Yeah, they're subject to what's called Brownian motion, which is just the constant bombardment of the surrounding molecules in the solution.
Okay.
So they're constantly kind of jiggling and moving randomly.
So it's like
Yeah.
trying to herd
Bumper cars
bumper cars. Yeah, exactly.
that are constantly bouncing off each other.
Yeah, and how do you get them to work together?
Yeah. How do you to actually accomplish anything useful?
Yeah, that's got to be the big challenge, right?
That is the big challenge, and that's where the AI comes in.
Okay.
The researchers used a technique called multi-agent reinforcement learning,
Okay.
or MARL.
Got it.
And essentially, they create a system
Right.
where each robot gets feedback on its actions.
So if it does something good, it gets a reward.
Exactly. So if a robot's action helps the group succeed, it receives a reward.
Right.
If it hinders the group, then it doesn't.
So it's kind of like training a dog, but instead of treats,
Yeah.
they're giving like a microscopic robot,
Right, exactly.
like a digital pat on the back.
Yeah, like a digital treat.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But the key is that they didn't just reward the swarm as a whole for success.
Okay.
They used something called counterfactual rewards.
Okay.
And that means that each robot's reward was based on how much its actions
Got it.
individually contributed to the group's goal.
Oh, so no slackers.
No slackers, yeah, exactly.
In this little workforce.
Every robot's got to pull its weight
Got it.
to earn that reward.
And that, I'm guessing, is important because otherwise you have some robots that are just
Exactly, you can imagine.
so along for the ride.
Some robots might just be lazy and ride the coattails of the others.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, the counterfactual rewards ensure that each robot is actually motivated to learn
Okay.
and contribute to the success of the group.
Got it.
And that makes the learning process much more efficient.
Okay, so we've got our laser-powered robots.
Right.
They're bouncing around in this crazy microscopic mosh pit.
Yeah.
They're learning through this reward system.
Right.
But what were they actually trained to do?
So there were two main tasks
Okay.
that the researchers focused on.
Okay.
One was rotating a large rod,
Okay.
and the other was actually transporting that rod to a specific location and orientation.
Wait, so these microscopic robots
Mhm.
can actually rotate something much larger than themselves?
Individually, no, but collectively they can generate enough force to move a rod many times their size.
So it's like a bunch of ants
Yeah.
carrying a crumb or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like a team of ants working together to carry a large crumb.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So they're like a microscopic construction crew,
Yeah.
just pushing and shoving to get this thing to rotate.
Yeah.
But what about the second task, like moving it to a specific spot?
Right.
That seems really complex.
That is really complex. And what makes it even more impressive
Yeah.
is that these robots have very limited senses.
Okay.
They can only see other robots and objects within a narrow field of vision.
So they have like blinders on almost?
Yeah.
In this crazy microscopic world?
Yeah, it's like trying to navigate a maze while wearing blinders.
And they can still move this rod.
Yeah, and that's the power of
What, precision?
AI and machine learning.
Wow.
The robots don't need a complete picture of their surroundings.
Okay.
They learn to use that limited information
Right.
to make decisions and adjust their actions.
So they're kind of developing strategies
Yeah,
based on this very limited data they have.
exactly. Over time, they develop these strategies.
Yeah.
And they refine their movements to achieve their goals.
That's incredible that they can learn such
Yeah.
complex behaviors with
Yeah.
such limited information.
Yeah.
So when they were moving the rod to a specific location,
Yeah.
what kinds of strategies did they come up with?
So they actually discovered a few different approaches,
Okay.
which the researchers call sub-strategies.
Okay.
Sometimes they would push from opposite ends to rotate the rod.
Okay.
Other times they would push from the side to move it laterally.
Got it.
And they even figured out how to slide along the rod's surface using friction to move it forward.
Hold on. They can use friction.
They figure it out.
That seems like awfully advanced for a microscopic robot with limited senses.
It's one of the really cool things about this research. It demonstrates how AI can discover these solutions that we as humans might not have even thought of.
Right.
So these robots are essentially learning
Right.
to exploit the physics of their environment
Yeah.
in really clever ways.
It's like they're developing this
Right.
rudimentary understanding of physics
Yeah.
through trial and error.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned that they trained them in a computer simulation
Yeah.
before they let them loose in the real world.
That's right.
So how did that work?
So think of it like learning to drive in a video game
Okay.
before you get behind the wheel of a real car.
Yeah.
The simulation allows the researchers to speed up the learning process,
Okay.
and it gets rid of a lot of that randomness of the real world.
Okay.
It's much easier to train a robot
Right.
when it's not being constantly bombarded
By all those molecules.
by molecules. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But did the skills that they learned
Yeah.
in the simulation
Mhm.
actually transfer to the real world?
Yes, remarkably well,
Okay.
especially for that rotation task.
Okay.
The robots were able to seamlessly apply their virtual training
Right.
to the real-world experiment
Right.
for the transport task.
Right.
There were some minor hiccups,
Yeah.
likely because the simulation couldn't perfectly capture
Yeah, that makes sense.
all the nuances of the real physical environment.
Yeah, it's like even experienced drivers
Right.
have to adjust to different road conditions.
Exactly.
But the fact that they could even do it at all,
Yeah.
this, what they call it zero-shot transfer,
Yeah.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really speaks to how robust
Yeah,
the learning algorithm is
yeah.
and how much potential this technology has for real-world problems.
Yeah, because the article talks about some pretty
Yeah.
mind-blowing possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, microassembly,
Mhm.
targeted drug delivery, even building materials.
Atom by atom.
Atom by atom?
Yeah.
Are we on the verge of,
It's definitely,
a micro-robot revolution?
while those applications are still early stages of research, the potential is there.
Yeah, I mean, imagine
Yeah.
a swarm of these robots
Yeah.
working inside the human body,
Yeah.
repairing damaged tissue, or
Yeah, delivering medication directly to cancer cells.
oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
an image.
Exciting.
Yeah, but, the article mentions they're controlled with lasers.
Right.
So how is that going to work inside the human body?
That's a great question. And, laser-based control might not be feasible
Right.
for all applications.
Yeah, that's just
Especially medical ones.
Well,
But,
yeah.
the core principle here
Right.
isn't about the control method.
Okay.
It's about showing that we can use AI to control these swarms of robots to
Oh.
achieve complex tasks in these challenging environments.
So maybe instead of lasers,
Right.
it could be like magnetic fields.
It could be magnetic fields. Yeah, exactly.
Or something
The key takeaway.
that's more compatible with biological systems.
The key takeaway is the potential of AI to solve these really complex control problems,
Right.
regardless of the hardware.
Regardless of the specific hardware.
Exactly.
So now let's talk about this multi-object
Okay.
manipulation experiment.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they wanted to see if these robots could handle
Exactly.
more than just one.
They wanted to test the limits
Yeah.
of this decentralized control system.
Okay.
So they divided the swarm into 3 teams,
Okay.
each responsible for controlling a separate rod.
Okay.
And they were able to get all 3 rods to rotate
Wow.
in independent directions simultaneously.
So it's like a microscopic ballet.
It is?
Each robot is doing its own little
It's a beautifully choreographed.
dance.
Yeah.
So how did they manage to coordinate all that without a central conductor?
That's the beauty of decentralized control.
Okay.
Each robot has its own individual policy,
Okay.
its own brain
Right.
that's trained to perform this rotation task.
Right.
So by just assigning different robots to different teams,
Okay.
they're able to achieve this independent control
Got it.
without needing a central command system.
So it's like each robot is a musician following its own score, and
Yeah.
it all comes together.
To create this symphony of motion.
But in any real-world system, you have to consider the possibility of, like, things going wrong.
Right.
What happens if some of these robots break down?
That's crucial.
The whole system fall apart.
That is a crucial question when you're considering real-world applications.
Right.
And the researchers actually tested this.
Okay.
They introduced malfunctions
Oh.
by deliberately causing some robots to
Mhm.
perform random actions.
So they were, like, simulating robots breaking down
Exactly.
or going rogue.
Yeah.
So what did they find?
The system proved to be remarkably resilient,
Okay.
even with 20% of the robots malfunctioning.
Wow.
The swarm could still successfully rotate the rod,
Okay.
only when the malfunction rate exceeded 70%. Did the task become impossible?
That's pretty impressive.
It is.
Like, they're good at adapting
Yeah.
to unexpected challenges.
Absolutely.
Which would be important for any,
Of course.
real world.
Yeah, especially in an unpredictable environment.
Right. And that brings up another good point.
Right.
Scalability.
Yeah.
Can you just keep adding robots?
Right. Can you just
It's a swarm
throw more robots at the problem?
and expect, like, better and better results.
Yeah, it seems intuitive
Yeah.
that more robots would equal more power and more efficiency,
Yeah.
but it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
The researchers found that there's kind of a sweet spot
Okay.
in terms of swarm size.
Okay.
Too few robots.
Right.
They simply don't have enough collective power
To even do.
to do anything.
But if you have too many robots,
Right.
they start to get in each other's way.
Oh, I see.
You get collisions, you get disruptions.
It's like any team.
Too many people and they step on each other's toes.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
about finding the right balance.
Yeah.
You need the right number of individuals with the right skills
Right.
working together effectively.
But what I find amazing is they're doing all this
Yeah.
with such limited computational power.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Isn't that
isn't
the
it?
article said they have very basic initial input?
Imagine if you could increase their sensory resolution or their processing power.
Yeah.
They're already accomplishing so much
They're basically
with such limited resources.
playing a complex game of chess, but they can only see a few squares on the board.
Right.
So this research is really
I think this research
stretching the boundaries.
represents a paradigm shift in robotics.
Yeah.
We're moving away from this idea of building robots
Okay.
that are pre-programmed to perform very specific tasks.
Right.
And instead, we're creating robots that can learn and adapt,
Yeah.
become more intelligent and versatile over time.
It's like we're giving them the ability to think for themselves.
Exactly.
And, like, solve problems.
has profound implications
In ways we might not have considered.
for all kinds of fields,
Yeah.
from manufacturing to construction to medicine to exploration.
Right.
We could see swarms of these robots
Right.
working together to build complex structures,
Right.
clean up hazardous waste, or even explore other planets.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But we have to acknowledge the risks, too.
Of course.
Like, as they become
As robots become more autonomous and
Yeah.
more intelligent,
more intelligent, yeah.
we need to be very careful about the ethical implications.
Right. It's like any powerful tool.
Absolutely.
It can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility to kind of guide the development of this technology.
Right.
So that,
Ensure that these advances ultimately benefit humanity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maximize the benefits, minimize the risks.
I think this research is a powerful reminder
Yeah.
that we're entering a new era of technological innovation.
Yeah.
Where the line between science fiction and reality
Is getting blurred.
is becoming increasingly blurred.
It's an exciting time, but also one that requires a lot of thought
It does, yeah.
and ethical responsibility.
Yeah.
So this has been an amazing
Into the great discussion.
look into the world of micro-robotics.
I hope our listeners, we've covered a lot of ground.
are as excited as we are
From the technical details
about the potential of this technology.
to the broader implications for the future.
Yeah.
of AI and robotics.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us
Thanks for having me.
and helping us unpack this research.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, we encourage you to delve a little deeper into this topic.
Exploring.
Explore the possibilities. Consider the implications.
Stay curious. The future of microrobotics is full of potential.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to shape that future responsibly.
Well said.
So, until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.
Right. So what did they find?
Yeah.
The system was really resilient,
Okay.
even with 20%
Wow.
of the robots malfunctioning.
Okay.
The swarm was still able to rotate the rod.
Okay.
It was only when the malfunction rate got above 70%
Wow.
that the task became impossible.
Pretty impressive.
It is, yeah.
So it seems like
Yeah.
these tiny robots are pretty good
Yeah, they're good
at adapting.
to these unexpected challenges.
Which would be essential for any
Which is good.
real-world application.
Right. Because
in unpredictable environments.
right, things don't always go according to plan.
Exactly.
And that brings up another good point.
Yeah.
Scalability.
Yeah.
Can you just keep adding
Right. Can you just keep
more
throwing more robots at the
or-
problem?
and just expect like better and better results?
Yeah, it seems intuitive
Yeah.
that more robots equals more power and more efficiency.
Yeah.
But, okay.
It's not quite that simple.
Okay.
The researchers found that there's kind of a sweet spot
Okay.
in terms of swarm size.
Okay.
If you have too few robots,
Right.
they just don't have enough collective power
Right, to even move.
to move the rod effectively.
To do anything.
But if you have too many robots,
Right.
then they start getting in each other's way.
Oh, I see.
And you get collisions and disruptions.
It's like having too many cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly. It's about finding that right balance.
Yeah.
You need the right number of individuals with the right skills
Right.
working together effectively.
But what I find really mind-blowing is
Yeah.
they're accomplishing all this
It is remarkable.
with such limited computational power, like you
Yeah.
were saying.
Imagine-
People said
Imagine if you could increase
they have very basic,
their sensory resolution
visual input.
or their processing power.
Right.
Think about what they could accomplish
Yeah, the basic.
with more resources.
Playing a complex game of chess.
Like-
But they can only see a few squares.
It really is pushing the
Right.
boundaries of what we thought was possible
Right.
with robotics and AI.
This research is really
This
good.
research represents
Pushing the
a
boundary.
paradigm shift in robotics.
Yeah.
We're moving away from this idea
Okay.
of building robots that are pre-programmed
Okay.
to perform specific tasks.
Right.
And instead, we're creating robots that can learn
Right.
and adapt,
Yeah.
become more intelligent and versatile.
Yeah. It's like we're giving them the ability to
Right.
think for themselves.
Exactly. And that has
Profound implications
solutions and stuff.
for so many different fields,
Yeah.
from manufacturing to construction
Yeah.
to medicine
Yeah.
to exploration.
Right.
I mean, we could see swarms of these robots
Right.
working together to build complex structures,
Right.
clean up hazardous waste, or even explore other planets. It's pretty incredible, but we have to acknowledge
Think about that.
there are risks too.
The risks as these robots
Yeah, like as they
become more autonomous,
Yeah.
more intelligent.
more intelligent.
You
Yeah,
have to think very carefully about
right.
the ethical implications.
Yeah, it's like
And
any
a powerful tool.
tool, you know,
It's a powerful
it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility to
Right.
guide the development of this technology.
Yeah, we need to make sure
Thanks.
that these advances are actually benefiting humanity.
Exactly. Maximize the benefits.
Exactly.
Minimize the risks.
I think this research is a powerful reminder
Yeah.
that we're entering a new era
Right.
of technological innovation
Yeah.
where that line between science fiction
Right.
and reality
It's getting blurry.
is becoming increasingly blurred.
Yeah. It's an exciting time.
But
It's also a time that requires
a lot of
thought and ethical
thought and ethical responsibility. Yeah.
So this has been like a really
Been a really
fascinating discussion.
look into the world of
Yeah.
microrobotics. We've covered so much.
Our listeners are as excited about
From the technical details
the potential of this technology as we are.
to the bigger implications.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
the future of AI and robotics.
It really is groundbreaking stuff.
So thank you so much for
Thanks for having me.
joining us.
Yeah.
And helping us unpack
Happy to be here.
all this research.
Yeah.
And for our listeners,
Yeah.
we encourage you
Keep
to
going.
Go and learn more about this topic.
And stay curious.
Explore the possibilities.
Yeah,
Consider the implications.
absolutely.
The future of microrobotics is
Yeah,
full of potential.
it is.
And it's up to us to kind of
It is.
shape that future responsibly.
Well said.
So until next time, keep exploring and stay curious. Right, so